All right, we are live. How are you, Miss Sue?
I'm great, Pierre. How are you doing on this bright, sunny day?
I'm doing awesome. I'm loving this weather. It's
Oh,
been a
yeah.
great week, and I don't know. Is it supposed to be nice all weekend?
I do believe so. I think we're going to hit maybe the 90s tomorrow. So
Woo!
that's,
Summer's here.
yeah. I'll be sitting
Yeah.
by the pool somewhere cool tomorrow for sure.
That sounds good. That
So,
sounds good. Well, it's quick fire Friday time again, as usual, and depending on any guest questions and stuff like that, I know we have a couple of topics we were going to cover. Do you want to give us the overview, Miss Sue?
sure. Well, for all the realtors out there, they probably that work in the field, they know that the market's really hot, and what we're seeing right now is definitely. Oh, why am I hearing an echo? That was me. Yeah. Okay, that was background for me. Okay. Um,
Ah,
I had to shut something off. Anyhow,
okay.
yeah, I was hearing myself. I'm like, that ain't good. But the from what I'm reading report wise and with the MLS, it seems that we're definitely in a seller's market, meaning that there's more buyers looking for property right now than there are sellers. And so it's a good time for agents who want to ramp up their listing inventory to get to use some of the tools out there. And one of the tools I know that you are training on, and Miss Bree also, Bree Bender also trains on it, is something called the RPR, which stands for Realtors Property Resource. And that is, it's an app now, as well as it's also available for the web version. So you can prepare reports and everything for your clients. It does all kinds of market data. So I'm hoping that agents are using this and using the mobile version as well. So I know you've only started training on it a little bit, but what is your view about seeing it from a marketing point of view?
Well, I think it's an amazing piece of software and program. It's got a lot of marketing opportunities with it. And probably one of the first things I would give as a suggestion for anybody who hasn't started using it yet or can't figure out how to use it, they have a really cool place in the site. I'm not sure if I can find it live, but hopefully I can if we decide to go there, where they have sort of testimonial videos or how certain realtors are using it in their market space. And I've watched probably, I don't know, 5 or 10 of them, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them just talk about how they use the mobile phone version of it and how it's helped them close deals and how to get information. And there's just some of the success stories on how people are using it specifically for how they market or sell real estate. I'm sure I know, for example, there are examples that would apply to almost every type of realtor here in Myrtle Beach, for example, or any market. So
Cool.
it's a great place to start, because I think it would give you some motivation and hearing from a fellow realtor that you can relate to, and to go, that's how I'm trying to do it, and then use some of their examples to use RPR for. So,
Okay.
I mean, everything from the way you can create a listing presentation with some of the best data I've ever seen, and how to use those tools, both whether somebody's going to print it off if you're old school, or whether you do what I would suggest and upload that onto your tablet when you're doing a meeting with a client for a listing presentation, or if they're a buyer and you're bringing them some market data.
Right.
The data that's available is fantastic.
Yeah. And the mobile version is really good when you're out in the field. Just to use it if you're out with buyers, you can pull up the mobile version, and with the GPS function, and it'll pull up properties immediately around you, what's for sale, what's sold. So it's pretty good information to have with you
Absolutely.
with a touch of a button. So I'm just got it on now, playing with it myself a little bit. So,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I can
I
do
did put in. Yeah, if you want to do a screenshot, that might be good to show them just a little bit about what it can do.
okay.
But I did put the web address in there. They can just search Realtors Property Resource, but the web address is www.narrpr.com. And then there's a sign-in process with your, I think it's your realtor information that goes in there when you sign in.
Yeah,
If you haven't
absolutely.
done it, yeah.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So can you see, are you able to see it right now?
No, not on my screen, but that might just be because you're
Oh,
frozen.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. I forgot. For some reason, it's freezing up on Miss Sue's side. So
Right.
hopefully you can see the RPR screen here. And you know, if you haven't used it, I mean, you can do just something as simple as 29572, for example. Just you can put in a zip code and just start with an initial search and then go, okay, well, let's go to the Myrtle Beach. And you can start building a search criteria for a particular client, for example, who's interested in buying in a particular zip code, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And so this pulls up that specific area, and it's showing you the properties that are for sale in that area. And in this particular example, you know, there's this one distressed property. There's a little code down here that you can work from, and you can click on any, you know, put your mouse over any one of the buttons and look at each of those in a little more detail. And you know, it's got all sorts of mapping features where you can draw, you know, different polygons and stuff, and be very specific. You can create, you know, market reports. You can come up here and hit the create a report button, and you can create property reports, seller reports, property flyers, mini property reports, evaluation workbook, market activity reports, and neighborhood reports. You know, the market activity report on properties that have sold in the last X number of months, and the seller's report, I mean, those are gold when you're trying to find listings. And I know if you're prospecting in a particular niche community, and being able to give that information to the other people who have homes in that area, they want to know what their neighbor's home sold for. They want to know what the house down the street sold for. And this creates a absolutely beautiful report that you could drop it off in person. You could send it via email. You could have it available on your website as a link. I mean, this is just gold information that you know, potential sellers, for example, new listings. Since we're, I guess, if we've switched over into a seller's market, sellers are going to want to see that kind of info to decide whether it's time for them to put their home up on the market. So just a couple of quick examples anyway.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, I was because I couldn't see what you're doing on your screen, but are you showing the web version or the mobile version?
The web version.
Okay, because on the mobile version, what's really cool about that is, like I said, I'm sitting here in my neighborhood, and I pulled it up, and it'll pull up all the, within 0.5 of a mile, all the immediate properties for sale. It also will show me the new listings, any solds, any distressed properties. So it's pretty cool. And then you can write notes if you wanted to, right next to it, and make notes. So that's pretty cool. I love the app. I think it's very user friendly.
Yeah, and I've heard that from a lot of people, and I've messed around with it on my phone too. And I mean, it seems very intuitive. It's fairly straightforward to figure out, you know, based on what you want to try and do with it at that moment in time.
Right.
You know, if there's a lot of interest in this topic, we could certainly do like a little mini one in a future QFF. I know I'm going to be teaching more classes on the basic RPR. I'm currently certified to teach that live, and I've taught one class at Coastal already on the basics. I still haven't finished my certification for the advanced version, but have certainly got the basic one done now. So if there's an office with it, I think it has to be at least 30 people, or if there's a group of 30 agents that want to have a class on it, I'm allowed to go in any group that's at least 30 agents or more. So we can certainly do that. Yeah. And Miss Bree as well, of course. Miss Bree, she's both basic and advanced certified. So yeah. Good. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so the RPR, again, to get into the reports that it does, I mean, it can do just a short report. You can, all kinds of information. It brings up tax history. So it's a good starting point for anybody, whether you're out in the field looking at, you know, even for sale by owners. I could see a value of this. You're driving by right in front of the house, it'll pull up the information. So that's good information. Is this, now, do you know this is pulling right from the MLS or from Realtor.com? Where does this pull the information from? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the answer to that. I believe this is pulling from all of the MLSs, all the data from the MLSs, and also public records as well.
I was going to say, because I know there's, so I just looked at something and it showed the tax record. So
Yep.
it's pulling from the Horry County tax record, I'm assuming. So
Yeah, and if you're looking at the site, you on any particular piece of information, there's a little eye next to it, and you can put your mouse over that, and it'll tell you this came from here, this came from here, that kind of thing.
okay.
But yeah, it pulls data from both the MLS records and also or Realtor.com, which is basically the same information,
Right.
and also public records. So you can also look up distressed properties that are both in the MLS or not in the MLS to help if you want to create a realtor valuation versus an automated valuation, kind of instead of a Zillow version, you can create a more accurate valuation based on realtor inputted data that's been proven to be more accurate. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do one because it takes a bit of time, but I'm just showing an example of a property where you can go through and start pulling in and creating those like properties to create an evaluation and adjusting the property that you have against those like properties to eventually come up with a comp analysis so that you can give a suggested sales price for that particular property, as an example. I mean, it's really cool, and I would highly recommend, as the CCR puts out more of these classes, or if you want a private one at your own brokerage or through a group of agents, learning how to use this tool, I think, is invaluable to the marketing and the sales process. So both for buyers and sellers.
Right. Well, I know when this first came out a few years ago, it's not a new product.
No.
One of the flaws, which I think turned a lot of agents off, was that, again, it was inaccurate data for getting estimates of property values and things. So I think they've, over the years, have tweaked it quite a bit. And pretty much, I think the property information is right on.
Yeah.
So I know that now you're out there with the agents working a lot. Is that what you're seeing? I mean, from the agents that are using this on a regular basis?
Yeah. The ones that I've spoken to who do use it on a regular basis absolutely wouldn't be without it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So it's another great tool for anybody who does a lot of work with on the listing side with sellers. This should definitely be a must-have app on your phone by any means, app or on your iPad, one or the other, but definitely on your phone. It's Android as well as iPhone.
Yes, doesn't matter the platform. They got you covered.
Excellent. That's awesome.
Yeah, they have you covered.
Cool. So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and you already mentioned it. It was a slight repeat, but on a mobile device, it's honestly, it works. It functions. They've really designed it very well, I think.
Yeah, it's so user friendly. It's great. I love it. Yeah. You can save it. You can send notes to people, and like I said, it really works very good. So for anybody, definitely sign on, download the app. Is this available on the App Store, the Google Store, and things like that? Is that where you go for it?
Yeah,
okay.
I believe that's correct. I'm not 100%, but I believe I'm trying to. It's funny you asked. It's been so long since I've actually gone and loaded it back up, but I believe that's correct.
I know.
Or you can go right to narrpr.com or whatever it is. Again, I forget the site, but
and it'll tell you where to go. Okay.
Yeah, narrpr.com, and I'll show you how to download and if you're going to set one up, there is no cost to the agent. It's part of your dues, and you just need your NERDS number. That's going to be required. Yeah, you're going to need that number to register and get your account set up. But past that, it's just about adding a little bit of information and then just learning the tool. So
right. Yeah. And let's just touch base on that NERDS. It's NRDS number that they'll want, and that's the National Realtor Database, I think, system. And that's the number. You should have it on your National Association of Realtors membership card, or if you get the Realtor magazine, it's on the address label. So that's one of the places you can get it. You can also log on to realtor.org and look it up. Just do a search for NRDS search, and it'll bring you to a page. So if you don't know where to get that, that's where you get it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got it. That's
and once you find it, write it down. If you don't have it, should be on your membership card though. So
that's my understanding. I was told that they get it on their magazine and also on their membership card, the NERDS number. I always thought that was the coolest name for it too. How do you forget that?
Yeah, exactly.
I want a
You
nerd. I
nerd.
want a nerd's number. I should have a nerd's number.
Yeah, every realtor should have a nerd's number.
Absolutely.
Did you know?
Yeah. Well,
So,
in closing, at least for me on the RPR thing, I know we're getting close to we are at the 15-ish minute mark.
yep.
I just highly recommend, if you haven't taken a serious look at it for a while or never, it's with the new changes that are coming out with AMP and some of the other things that are coming with the way they're going to syndicate and put all your listings in from one location, et cetera. RPR is going to become more and more and more powerful. So I highly recommend, it's probably a good time to sort of dip your toe in if you haven't.
Right. So on that next listing appointment, go ahead and download it, or at least get on the web and search it. Try doing a report using it and see what you think. So test it out and let us know how you like it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, we are at the few minutes past 12:15, and we try to keep it right at 15 to 20 minutes. So, Pierre, I have nothing else to do today to talk about other than the RPR. And unless you have something you would like to bring up.
No, I think that we were going to focus on RPR today and any questions. And I think we give at least an initial dip your toe in, and based on some feedback and things like that, we can always do a more in-depth one in the future. So that's Perfect. It for me too.
All right. Well, I'm going to sign off. I've got to get into another appointment myself. And, again, these will be on YouTube, so you can watch it later on. So enjoy. And Pierre, you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy it. And I'll see you soon.
Sounds great. You have a great weekend too, Miss Sue,
Okay.
and talk to you soon, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.